Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. Depending on where you are in this world, God bless you. Good evening, Dr. Joey. Today we're continuing in the book of Jasher, and we are in chapter 85. A king and King Arad, the Canaanite, who dwelt in the south, heard that the Israelites had come by the way of the spies, and he arranged his forces to fight against the Israelites. And the children of Israel were greatly afraid of him, for he had a great and heavy army. So the children of Israel resolved to return to Egypt. And the children of Israel turned back about the distance of 3 days' journey unto Mazarath Beni Jacon, for they were greatly afraid on the account of the king Arad. And the children of Israel would not get back to their places. So they remained in Beni Jacon for 30 days. And when the children of Levi saw that the children of Israel would not turn back, they were jealous for the sake of the Lord. And they rose up and fought against the Israelites, their brethren, and slew of them a great body, and forced them to turn back to their place, Mount Hor. And when they had returned, King Arad was still arranging his host for battle against the Israelites. And Israel vowed a vow, saying, "If you will deliver this people into my hand, then I will utterly destroy their cities." And the Lord hearkened to the voices of Israel, and he delivered the Canaanites into their hand. And he utterly destroyed them and their cities. And he called the name of the place Hormah. And the children of Israel journeyed from Mount Hor and pitched in Oboth. And they journeyed from Oboth, and they pitched at Barim in the border of Moab. And the children of Israel sent to Moab, saying, "Let us pass now through your land into our place." But the children of Moab would not suffer the children of Israel to pass through their land, for the children of Moab were greatly afraid lest the children of Israel should do unto them as Sihon, king of the Amorites, had done to them, who had taken their land and had slain many of them. Therefore Moab would not suffer the Israelites to pass through his land. And the Lord commanded the children of Israel, saying that they should not fight against Moab. So the Israelites removed from Moab. And the children of Israel journeyed from the border of Moab, and they came to the other side of Arnon, the border of Moab, between Moab and the Amorites. And they pitched in the border of Sihon, king of the Amorites, in the wilderness of Kedemoth. And the children of Israel sent messengers to Sihon, children of the Amorites, king of the Amorites, saying, "Let us pass through your land. We will not turn into the fields or into the vineyards. We will go along by the king's highway until we have passed your border." But Sihon would not suffer the Israelites to pass. So Sihon collected all of the people of the Amorites and went out into the wilderness to meet the children of Israel. And he fought against the children in Jahaz. And the Lord delivered Sihon, king of the Amorites, into the hand of the children of Israel. And Israel smote all the children of Sihon with the edge of the sword, and avenged the cause of Moab. And the children of Israel took possession of the land of Sihon, for Aram unto Jabbok, unto the children of Ammon. And they took all the spoil of the cities, And Israel took all these cities, and Israel dwelt in all the cities of the Amorites. And all the children of Israel resolved to fight against the children of Ammon, to take their land also. So the Lord said to the children of Israel, do not besiege the children of Ammon, neither stir up battle against them, for I will give nothing to you of their land. And the children of Israel hearkened to the word of the Lord, and did not fight against the children of Ammon. And the children of Israel turned and went up by the way of Bashan to the land of Og, king of Bashan. And Og, the king of Bashan, went out to meet the Israelites in battle, and he had with him many valiant men, and a very strong force from the people of the Amorites. And Og, king of Bashan, was a very powerful man, but Naaron, his son, was exceedingly powerful, even stronger than he was. And Og said in his heart, behold, now the whole camp of Israel takes up space of 7 miles. Now will I smite them at once without sword or spear. And Og went up Mount Jaz, and took from there one large stone, the length of which was 7 miles, and he placed it on his head, and resolved to throw it upon the camp of the children of Israel, to smite all the Israelites with that stone. And the angel of the Lord came and pierced the stone upon the head of Og, and the stone fell upon the neck of Og, that Og fell to the earth on account of the weight of the stone upon his neck. At that time the Lord said to the children of Israel, be not afraid of him, for I have given him and all his people and all his land into your hand, and you will do to him as you did to Sihon. And Moses went down to him with a small number of children of Israel, and Moses smote Og with a stick at the ankles of his feet, and slew him. The children of Israel afterward pursued the children of Og and all his people, and they beat and destroyed them until there was no remnant left of them. Moses afterward sent some of the children of Israel to spy out Jasher. And Jasher was a very famous city. And the spies went to Jasher and explored it. And the spies trusted in the Lord, and they fought against the men of Jasher. And these men took Jasher and its villages, and the Lord delivered them into their hand. And they drove out the Amorites who had been there. And the children of Israel took the land of the 2 kings of the Amorites, 60 cities which were on the other side of Jordan, from the brook of Arnon unto Mount Hermon. And the children of Israel journeyed and came into the plain of Moab, which is on this side of Jordan, by Jericho. And the children of Moab heard all the evil which the children of Israel had done to the 2 kings of the Amorites, to Sihon and Og. So all the men of Moab were greatly afraid of the Israelites. This is a really long chapter. And the elders of Moab said, behold, 2 kings of the Amorites, Sihon and Og, who were more powerful than all the kings of the earth, could not stand against the children of Israel. How then can we stand before them? Surely they sent us a message before now to pass through our land on their way, and we would suffer them not. And now they will turn upon us and their heavy swords and destroy us. And Moab was distressed on account of the children of Israel, and they were greatly afraid of them. And they counseled together what was to be done to the children of Israel. And the elders of Moab resolved and took one of their men, Balak, the son of Ziphor, the Moabite, and made him king over them at that time. And Balak was one of the very wise men. And the elders of Moab rose up and sent to the children of Midian to make peace with them, for a great battle and enmity had been in those days between Moab and Midian, from the days of Hadad the son of Bedad, king of Edom. Who smote Midian in the field of Moab unto these days. And the children of Moab sent to the children of Midian, and they made peace with them. And the elders of Midian came to the land of Moab to make peace in behalf of the children of Midian. And the elders of Moab counseled with the elders of Midian what to do in order to save their lives from Israel. And all the children of Moab said to the elders of Midian, Now therefore the children of Israel, lick up all that are around them, or around us, as the ox licks up the grass of the field. For thus did they do to the 2 kings of the Amorites, who are stronger than we are. And the elders of Midian said to Moab, We have heard that at the time when Sihon, king of the Amorites, fought against you, and he prevailed over you and took your land, and he had sent to Beor, the son of Janeas, and to Balaam, his son, from Mesopotamia, and they came and cursed you. Therefore did the hand of Sihon prevail over you, that he took your land. Now therefore send you also to Balaam his son, for he still remains in his land, and give him his hire, that he may come and curse all the people of whom you are afraid. So the children of Moab heard this thing, and it pleased them to send it to Balaam the son of Beor. So Balak the son of Ziphor, king of Moab, sent messengers to Balaam, saying, Behold, there is a people come out from Egypt. Behold, they cover the face of the earth, and they abide over against me. Now therefore come and curse this people for me, for they are too mighty for me. Perhaps I will prevail to fight against them, and drive them out. For I heard that he whom you bless is blessed, and whom you curse is cursed. So the messengers of Balak went to Balaam, and brought Balaam to curse the people, to fight against Moab. Okay, guys, and we will finish this chapter tomorrow. And as always, I love you.